In the beginning of the final saga, we were introduced to how devil fruits were made. Vegapuk said every devil fruit is a possibility of human evolution that somebody desired. We also get introduced to our first Black Cloak awakening. Okay, with this information, we can say some people desire to be a jacket, a kid most likely desire to be young forever to play with his toys, but most importantly, people desire to be free. They dreamed of a warrior to liberate them. Okay, so now if we go to chapter 1136, the Elbaf giants talk about 3 different gods they believe in: a god of liberation, a god of destruction, and a god of laughter. Luffy is 2 of these gods they speak of, so maybe the third one laughed as well. We also get introduced to Loki, who declared himself as the sun god and was rumored of killing his father to obtain the legendary fruit on Elbaf, also known as the Forbidden Devil Fruit. In chapter 1156, Rock said that there are 2 devil fruits that he needs, and one of them is located in Elbaf, and only Harald can awaken his true power. So in the last 2 arcs, Oda has been focused on devil fruit awakenings. We learned that Luffy fruit has not been awakened in over 800 years. Wow. We also learned that Harald's family treasure has been passed down for many years but has not been eaten, and Loki was prophesied to kill his father before he was even born. So it took Luffy 12 years and for him to die to awaken his legendary devil fruit. So maybe it's the complete opposite to awaken the legendary / forbidden fruit on Elbaf. Okay, so I'm gonna explain how God Valley is connected to Elbaf, and I'm also tell you what I think happened on chapter 1152. Okay, so I believe Rock XEBEC went to Elbaf and stole Harald's family treasure and claimed it as the treasure of Hachinosu. We know that the treasure from Hachinosu was most likely a devil fruit. We also know that Harald's treasure was also a devil fruit, so it matches perfectly. Okay, then the treasure gets taken by the world government. How? So I believe Bill Gastar betrays Rocks or makes some type of deal with the government for the fruit. Okay, so Rocks and Harald hear Genie broadcast about their treasure being the grand prize of this event. I also believe Garland won his prize because Shanks was found in a chest, so that means Garland won some type of prize. And at the beginning of the competition, Garland was so confident that he had to handicap himself to make the competition more challenging. Okay, so Rocks gets the fruit back then eats it, possibly in desperation or not fully knowing the rules of the fruit. He loses control and goes berserk and becomes a false awakened zone, like the jelly beast to impale down. And this would cause 2 opposing factions, Roger and Garp, to team up to take on Rocks. By doing this, they're helping the Celestial Dragons escape the island, and this could also explain how God Valley disappeared, because the Mother Flame was not created yet. We also know Big Mom saved Kaido by giving him the Udo Udo no Mi fruit to escape the island. Okay, I say all this because if you go back to the Kaido and Luffy fight, Kaido questions Luffy's rubber powers throughout the whole fight. It says rubber doesn't move like this or act like that. But when Kaido kills Luffy and he awakens, he was even more confused. But then when he realized what kind of fruit Luffy has, he asks him, "Who are you? Are you still Straw Hat?" As if he had seen something similar like this before. He also probably asked Rock the same question as well. But when Kaido realizes this, his whole attitude and demeanor change. He acts more like a mentor than an enemy. He asks Luffy what kind of world can he create and tells him he shouldn't rely on his devil fruit because Haki transcends all. Which is true because Luffy couldn't do anything to the Gorosei because he couldn't use his Haki correctly, like how Scopper said. Okay, now going back to the incident, I believe the world government or Garland gets the fruit back, which is possible because we see Jesus Burgess was able to take fruits in this Rosa. So Harald wanted his family treasure back and makes a deal with the WG by forming them an army of giants to work under the government. To prove his loyalty, he most likely ripped off his own horns. Harald also not wanted his army / country to work under the WG. He tricks Elbaf into a peaceful country, so they can be useless towards the world government. I don't believe Harald gets the Mercy in this chapter because Emo and the Holy Knights were unaware that Harald betrayed them in the present timeline, so there's no way they would know 14 years ago. I believe Harald had a plan, that's why he summoned Loki and Jiraiya to discuss this plan with them. I also think the guards might be a part of this plan, that's why they're stabbing Harald to tame him before he eats the forbidden fruit. Okay, I believe Harald eats this fruit and becomes the same beast Rock turns into on God Valley. And Loki and the guards had to go into battle with this monster. And I also believe Jaru gets crossfired in this battle, which makes him forget Harald's original plan. I say this because if you look at the skulls in chapter 1136, they look just like the guards who were stabbing Harald in chapter 1152. We could also see 3 claw marks on the wall as if they was fighting some type of beast. And Loki had to use Ragnar to finish off this beast. Okay, to sum it up, I believe Loki had to kill his father to awaken his devil fruit's power. If you compare this to Luffy, Luffy had to prove his fruit, then sacrifice himself to awaken his true power, while Loki had to sacrifice the current user to prove through the fruit to awaken his true power. Now I want to talk about Blackbeard. In my previous video, I exposed everything about Blackbeard. I tell you who he actually is and who he's not, and why he actually wants the world. But I'm also right now going to tell you who I think this lady is. I believe this is the witch who saved Blackbeard and took care of him and lived in the cherry blossom tree. Same trees Dr. Hurlock talked about that saved them in the West Blue.